Environmental Protection Agency is Lisa Jackson, a New Orleans native from the Gentilly neighborhood of Pontchartrain Park, where Dave Bartholomew lives, by the way. She's making her first visit to her hometown and in her new position, and will participate in the 13th National Brownfield Conference.
And we're very happy to have EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sally.
And then, first of all, this is your first official trip back to New Orleans since you were appointed by the Obama administration. And there are some environmental problems here. I think the biggest one, most people will agree, is out in New Orleans East. And you're planning to fly over there today. There's so much illegal dumping out in that area. Many people have called it a super fun waiting to happen.
Yeah, and I understand that, because I think what people see is illegal dumping plus the landfill. It's going to be closed, but, you know, if there's another storm, all that material is going to wash right back out and sort of slosh around.
And some people say with rainfall and stuff, it's easing back into the water right now.
Into the wetlands.
With our high water table, that makes perfect sense. I'm looking forward to having an opportunity to assess it myself.
There are several areas in New Orleans. There's the old agriculture landfill in which there are now homes. And you have the Gerttown area where plants have closed down. There's some concerns out there. In addition to New Orleans East with the illegal dumping and the dumping at the landfills that were closed prior to Katrina and then reopened for Katrina. What is being done to monitor all of these situations?
Well, you know, the landfills are being monitored not only by EPA but by the state of Louisiana. And I think that what our job is at EPA is to make sure that as the state does its job, that it's working with the very best data that we have available. And what we're learning about the strength of landfills, we learned from Hurricane Katrina and from other hurricanes as well. EPA responds to hurricanes all the time, and we have to bring that knowledge to the fore as well.
Are you considering changing the rules? Because there are environmentalists who say that DEQ does not respond as quickly as they would like. Are you considering changing the rules so that EPA can take a look at these situations and bypass DEQ?
You know, I'm not sure that that's needed. I'll find out more today when I see it, so I'll hold judgment. But I think that it's important to know that the rules we have are strong. It's making sure that they're enforced and making sure that the communities have a voice as permitting decisions are made. And that's one of the things I've said as administrator of EPA, is that it comes back to the communities that are affected and government working for people instead of, you know, sometimes feeling as though we're at odds with people.
And I think the thing out in New Orleans East, people have turned a blind eye on that for so long. It's one of those things we've just come to live with, and then someday we're going to pay the consequences for.
Well, and that's the way environmental issues always come about. You know, the other big environmental issue here is the Coastal Restoration Project. And I remember after the flood thinking to myself, this was an opportunity also for us to refocus on our natural heritage down here and also on what it means to us in terms of protection from the storm. So that helicopter tour will also include the coastal restoration efforts and give me really my first time ever view, that's the beauty of this job, of the southern Louisiana wetlands, you know, of Plaquemines and St. Bernard and Orleans Parish.
Unfortunately, there aren't many left.
Yeah, that's true, but I also believe that there's work that can be done and that EPA can help spearhead to make sure that we restore those wetlands.
In addition to the Brownfield Conference, you're also going to be looking at the green development in New Orleans.
That's right. That's another one of my focus areas. And I think it is important to point out that, yes, we have contamination. Many old industrial areas do, and there's a lot of industry down here still. But there's also really wonderful things happening. And focusing on clean energy, on the green jobs that come with it, I think the green job story here in New Orleans needs to be amplified and told, especially in this time of economic recovery. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
And while we're concerned about the problems here, you've got to be responsible for all 50 states. And I mean, that's quite a huge task.
It's a task, but it's an honor and a responsibility that I feel like I trained my whole life for. From the time I went to school here and when I went back up to New Jersey for graduate school, I cared about these issues. And for me, this is such a circle. It's emotional in a way I can't explain, because to come back and be able to serve my hometown in a different way, in a way I never envisioned, because President Obama selected me, is quite an honor.
And what do you think about the recovery of your hometown?
Well, every time I come back, I see, and I got in pretty late last night, so I haven't seen much yet, but every time I come back, I see something new and something great, and I also see how much work there still is ahead of us. But I'm reminded by our history as a city. This town, you know, survived malaria attacks and fires and rebuilt itself numerous times, and New Orleans will be new. I know it will be, and I know it will be better. But it's also hard to watch friends and family who have to go through that process.
And once you tour the area out in New Orleans East today, you'll be talking with the press and with state officials about that.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I will meet with community groups when I come. I'll spend an hour with community advocates and people who've come together since the storm and even before to advocate to make sure their communities aren't left out. I'll sit down and speak with my own staff. We have a big office in Dallas, Texas that serves Louisiana. And I'll meet with state officials as well. And I have to say Louisiana DEQ staff have come up to my offices even since I've been installed in Washington. When they come to Washington, they often stop by. So there is a lot of work going on.
A lot on your plate. You'll be visiting your alma mater, Tulane, and speaking there as well.
Tulane, Dominican. I'm going to stop by Suno and go by Pontchartrain Park. So
How many days you staying?
it's only 2.
All right.
We're going to cram it all in and eat too.
That's the most important thing for
Absolutely.
us, Jackson. Thank you.
Thank you very much for
And
joining
congratulations
us.
on your selection.
Thank you so much. Love
All
you
right,
too.
coming up next, we'll check out the